Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Cooperative Education and Career Success session. So as a friendly reminder, please feel free to put your questions into the chat box at any time during the presentation, and we'll answer as many as we can today. So we're going to be bringing in several members of our co-op and career success team. We're going to have Jessica, Lisa, June, and John. So I'll hand it over to our presenters.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cooperative Education and Career Success Info session as part of today's virtual open house. My name is Jessica Lovett. I'm the Director of Co-op, Career, and Experiential Learning at Georgian, and it's my pleasure to get to work with a large team of people who are all focused around generating and supporting career success for all of our students at Georgian. Today, June, John, Lisa, and I will tell you a little bit about our services and how they help students transform their learning experience at Georgian into career success. So please type your questions into the chat, and we look forward to answering your questions along the way. So we're going to talk about, if you're in a co-op program at Georgian, how that process works in 7 easy steps. We'll then talk about career success supports we offer to students who are in any program at Georgian. Our programs might not include co-op. They might include something like a field placement, clinical placement, or internship. And so we support students in all programs from this team. We'll tell you a little bit about how, and then we'll take questions and answers. So without further ado, I will turn it over to my colleague, June Martin, who is the one who gets the process started for co-op students. June?
Thank you, Jessica. Hi, everyone. I'm June Martin, and I've been a cooperative education consultant with Georgian College for about 17 years now. Yeah, I'm a little bit old. And it's my pleasure to take a few moments to talk to you about the 7 easy steps, how to be successful in co-op. And when you think about co-op, co-op's a little bit different at the college university level. And I always like to say to students, co-op is about earning while you learn and try before you buy. So our co-ops are paid positions, so that's a really cool thing. So you get to earn while you learn, and then try before you buy. You get to check out different workplaces without having to make a commitment. So, so co-op is really, really cool. Okay, we'll go to the next slide. The first step, all of our students have to take what's called the Co-op course. And this course is specifically giving you all of the tools and resources that you need to be successful in navigating through co-op. So it's really giving you the tools and resources to prepare you. Okay, I'm ready to move to the next slide. That's okay. Slide 2. When you're thinking about co-op, obviously co-op is about getting a position, and the jobs that we help you with, they're competitive. So you need to have a really good resume. Now everyone says, oh, my resume is great or whatever, but our job is to help you tailor your resume to the specific industry you want to apply to. And your resume is what's going to get you in the door to get that job or co-op. So job search in co-op search, as a matter of fact, takes, we start posting positions at Georgian College on a system called Georgian Connects. That's our co-op database. And we usually do that 3 to 4 months before co-op starts. Is Georgian Connects the only place where you can get a co-op? No, absolutely not. You can also find your own co-op, and we help you look at some of those resources. The only thing we ask is that the co-op that you might find on your own meets the learning outcomes of your program, and that's something you'll learn about in class. So obviously now you're ready to go out on a job interview. You're going to learn about researching. You're going to learn about everything you need to know about getting that co-op position for your specific field. And every area, every co-op is a little bit different. So you want to learn about how to research for that area, how you should dress for the interviews, and everything you need to do to have a customized application for that particular area. Now I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, John Daggett.
Good morning, everyone. My name is John Daggett. I'm the Employer Relations Consultant for the School of Hospitality, Tourism and Recreation here at Georgian College. I also like to throw in that I'm also the head coach of the varsity rugby team. Hopefully Jessica doesn't mind that. I'm going to talk to you just quickly about, now that you've found a co-op, what that process looks like. The first thing we need you to do is to register on Banner. All our co-ops are mandatory, and you need a mark in there to graduate. Registering on Banner keeps you eligible in school and allows us to do that. As well, you'll fill in something we call a work term record. You'll do that on Georgian Connects. It gives us all the information about the employer and where you're going to work. It allows us as employer relations consultants to contact your employer and approve your co-op, and then follow up with you as you go through your co-op and over the summer. We'll just go to the next slide. Now that you're out working, you're really getting some good experience. You're making money. You're finding out, do you fit in this industry? You're making great connections for the future. I always like to say it's a great opportunity to find out if you like the culture of the environment, the employer that you're working with, the industry that you're in. As June said before, it's a great opportunity to find out where you fit in here as well. We'll monitor that your co-op over the summer to be sure everything's going well. And if at any time you have any problems or concerns, your co-op team is always available for you. Next slide, please. Co-op ends, we need a couple of pieces of documentation. One is a written report. It's a reflective report on how your co-op went, what you thought of it, what you would have liked to see more of, what could have been better, what are your future plans. And then with that, we'll also look at an employer evaluation. That evaluation will come from the employer, and we'll monitor, once again, we'll monitor your co-op over the summer. So we have a pretty good idea of how you're doing, but it's a good reflective time to sit down with your employer, go through and really truly evaluate how you did on your co-op, and then also talk about future plans from there. That is my brief time here for co-op this morning. I'm going to turn it back over to Jessica, and she's going to take us for the next couple slides. Thank you.
Thanks, June and John. So that's a little bit about how our co-op process works for those of you who might be considering co-op programs at Georgian. But as I mentioned in the introduction, we serve students with career success supports and support to develop essential employability skills no matter what program you're in. So my colleague Lisa Lundy will tell you a little bit about some of those success services which we think contribute to Georgian's great postgraduate employment rate.
Next slide, Jessica. Thanks, Jessica. Hi, everyone. My name is Lisa Lundy, and I am a career consultant with Georgian College. And I've got June beat. She's been with Georgian for about 17 years. I won't tell you how long I've been, but it's been many, many more years than that. And I love working in career services. There's great variety, and we get to help so many students. So I'm going to talk about the 6 steps to get the most out of career services at Georgian College. So each semester we meet with, our career consultant team meets with hundreds and hundreds of students. We meet students one-on-one, and we also meet through classroom visits. And during this time when our services are being offered remotely, we're inviting students to book a video conference or phone appointment with us. When we're working through the career plan process, we use a 3-step model. So the first step is get to know yourself. And the career consultant team uses a variety of career assessments with individuals to help identify values, skills, abilities, interests, and personality type. Once we've gone through that process, this leads you to developing some ideas about careers that might be a good fit. So then we'll guide you through researching your options, and we have some amazing resources to help you gain information on careers, the labor market, the outlook for that career. And then once you've narrowed down your choices, then you get down to planning your action and deciding where are you going to go to school, what program are you going to take. And the career consultant team is there to guide you through each one of those steps. So in addition to career planning, we are also very involved in helping students, especially students in non-co-op programs, get ready for their job search. So everything from helping you develop a professional resume and cover letter, tips for developing a strong LinkedIn profile, which is so great for networking, and an employment portfolio, and so much more. On Georgian Connects, There is a co-op side. There's also a career side. So we encourage students to use the career side to search for temporary, casual, seasonal, on campus, when we are working fully back on campus, and grad jobs, in addition to many external websites that we'll provide information on also. So now you're ready for an interview. Your professional and polished resume has led you to being invited for an interview. Maybe you need some interview practice. Our career consultant team is there to help with that too. We have expertise in helping people plan for their interview. We'll provide a mock interview session for you so that it kind of feels like a real interview, and we'll give you feedback along the way. We hold a variety of workshops that you might also benefit from, and we have software such as Perfect Interview you can help sort of prepare on your own. It's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So lots of resources to help you be successful in your interview. And we invite you to stay connected after you graduate. We offer all of our great services for students, for graduating students, for up to 2 years after graduation. We will invite you to attend our networking and career events, and we'll help you keep your resume updated also. That's it for career services. They're wonderful services. Over to Jessica.
Thanks, Lisa. So that's a little bit about how we support students in all of our programs. And as Lisa mentioned, those services extend past your point of graduation. We're here for you. And once you're a Georgian Grizzly, you're in our community, and we will always be interested in being here for you and look forward to staying connected as you pursue your own careers and develop what that looks like for you. At this point, Jenny, we're happy to take any questions that might be there. So I'll stop sharing my presentation and I look forward to hearing if anyone has any questions about career success that June, John, Lisa, or I might help with.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your presentation. That was fantastic. So as Jessica mentioned, we're going to move over to our Q&A session now. Yeah, we've got lots of great questions coming in. So there are a couple questions about field placement, so I thought maybe we would start there. Someone was asking about how it's different from a co-op, as well. If someone's asking, is a field placement a co-op? If so, what will we expect in these placements, and do we need to pay for these separately from our tuition?
That's a great question. I wonder if I should take that one. So thank you for your question about field placements. We do get a lot of questions about how the different types of work integrated learning fit into various programs. If you're in a field placement, your experience is slightly different from a co-op work term in that field placement students are matched with potential employers. They do see a list of opportunities that have been reviewed by their program coordinators and field placement officers in our database of opportunities that we call Georgian Connects. And then you can express interest in the opportunities that work for you. Now, this is specifically for field placements in human services and community safety. If you're in a different kind of program that has a field placement, your program coordinator can tell you more about the logistics for that sort of experience as part of academic area sessions. Jenny, I think there was another question there beyond how those field placements work. Can you remind me of the second half of that question?
Yes, of course. So they were wondering if it was the same or different as a co-op, and said if so, if it was a co-op, how will we expect, or sorry, what will we expect in these placements, and do we need to pay for these separately from our tuition?
In terms of payment, I would suggest, because field placement is outside of the cooperative education team, that we might want to check in with the academic area and the registrar's office on those questions just to be sure. But typically, your fees are paid during academic semesters at Georgian. Now, some field placements take place they're at the same time as academic semesters, and so your fees are all part of that. In co-op, students pay cooperative education fees during academic semesters and not when they're on the job working. That's when they're earning as opposed to paying the college, and you pay for your services as part of your tuition process. In a field placement, It is not the same as a co-op in that it can have a different kind of length of time. It can be embedded into your learning in a slightly different way. And it's hard to answer specifically what field placement is unless I know more about your specific program. So I'd encourage you to reach out to your program coordinator or to the student success email that we put up a few moments ago, and we'll answer your question more specifically with relevance for the individual programs you're considering.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned earning as well, and I noticed we did get a question in here wondering if you get paid for your college co-op, just because I think someone's wondering because the high school co-op doesn't pay you, they said. I'm not sure who wants to jump in on that one.
I can jump in. It's June. I'm just going to go back to what I'll put my camera on for a minute. I think the big difference between a field placement and co-op is a competitive process, and placement is you're placed. So so co-op is a competitive process, and you are paid a wage. And in a field placement, you are definitely not paid, and you're actually placed. So it's a huge difference. And again, as I mentioned before, in co-op, we give you the tools to help you find a co-op, and in placement, it's basically given to you where you're going to be going. I hope, did I answer that?
Yeah, I think that's great. And we have a question here as well. If you take a co-op, are you going to have more time in college compared to someone without a co-op? I see John is jumping into our comments there to reply. I'm wondering if you can jump in here.
Yeah, once again, I'm better at speaking than I am at typing, so I'll jump in on that one. Depending on the program you're in, if your program has a break in the summer, so it's a non-co-op program, but it has a break in the summer, often that's when students are doing their co-op. So it doesn't actually extend the amount of time you're. So for some of the big programs, and June can talk to those a little bit, is if you have a 2-year program, but there's a break in the summer, like there would be for many programs, most students are doing their co-op thing. So you'd still be graduating at the same time. So it doesn't necessarily add any extra time on to your academics or your time in college.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for that, John. And we've got another question about some of those differences. So there's a question here. What is the difference between a co-op and an internship? For example, both are needed for the HBCP program. Not sure who might want to jump in on that one.
Jessica, do you want me to jump in? Go ahead.
Go ahead, June. I can jump in if you'd like to start.
Yeah, I was just going to start by, first of all, sometimes the word co-op and internship are used interchangeably, but they're actually very different. So we have to be careful of what we're using. So we're very specific at Georgian about what's an internship, what's a co-op. So co-op usually happens within, it's like a sandwich, basically. So you do your academics, then you have your co-op, and then you come back and do academics. Internships typically are at the end of a program, and in a lot of places, internships aren't always paid, but from Georgian, like I said, we see two very distinct differences. Co-op happens within your program, and internship happens at the end. So hopefully that explains it, but go ahead, Jessica.
I think we're, I think you're on mute, Jessica. I don't know if you've got anything to add.
Yes, I was just saying that June covered it. That was great. I'm not sure why my mic on mute was delayed. Sorry about that, everyone.
That's all right. Awesome, June, you nailed it. Okay. So we have another question here as well. Someone says, my program is a graduate certificate program with a work term. Is this different than a co-op? And do I find this placement on my own, or do I get assistance to find this placement at the end of my program?
Jessica, if you want, I can answer that because I look after the museum program. So museum program is a post-grad program, and you actually do your placement at the end of your academics. For some of our programs, the support comes actually from the co-op team. If not from the co-op team, you will get support through your faculty and coordinators. So regardless of what program you're in and what that internship or work placement looks like, there will be support. It might come directly from the co-op team or career services team, or it might come directly from faculty and coordinators.
Perfect. And we have another question here. Someone's wondering, how far away can you do your co-op from the college? Is there any kind of limit on that?
Let me answer that one, Jessica. So we have people, I'm in hospitality, tourism, and recreation. We often have students come and say, John, I've never really worked away from home before. I'd like to have something a little bit closer within driving distance or not too far away from home. We also have other students that come to us and say, John, get me as far away from home as possible. Regardless of what you want to do, we can make either of that happen. In hospitality, we have people that work in Barrie, Muskoka, throughout Ontario, across the country. We've also had students work over in Italy and England and Thailand. So it's really what the student wants from their experience. Now, we'll do some work with them if students are looking to travel internationally. We have a great international co-op consultant, and they'll help with work permits, visas, insurance, money, all that type of thing, as well as to be sure the student is prepared for any cultural things that may come up and just being away from home for up to 4 months as well. Great question.
And we've got another question just jumping in off of the John's international student comments. We have another question here from Omar, who says, hello, there is a program that states that the student should obtain a minimum G2 class Ontario driver's license for co-op terms. Could an international student have an international student permit instead? What would you suggest there?
I bet you it's one of the programs I work with because I work with the automotive programs, and it's a real, you really need to have a G license. You can start off with an international license as long as it's accepted here, but they'll want you to obtain your G license. Because if you don't have it, a lot of employers recommend that you have that particular license. You can certainly start with the international license, but after a while you're going to need to get your G and also be able to drive stick shift and have a clean driver's abstract. Hope that helps.
Perfect. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. And we have another question. We have lots of questions coming in about specific programs and their co-ops and how those work. So for sure, get in touch with our team. But I want to address some of those. There is a question here. How does co-op work with the practical nursing program? I wonder if somebody could tell us a little bit more about that.
I can take that one. Practical nursing is a clinical placement, so it's quite different from co-op and field placement in some respects. So for clinical placements, students are not paid. They attend supervised placements, and they have learning objectives that they undergo within the healthcare setting, and they're supervised by clinical placement officers and also by medical health professionals according to the program that they're in. So I'm sure more information about that would be shared as part of our Health, Wellness, and Sciences session today. But if you have specific questions about your clinical placement, we'd be happy to redirect you and connect you to the right person to talk to. It's quite different from co-op in that it's not paid, and also it's a bit more supervised and highly regulated because of the nature of the work that students are learning while they're in the workplace.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much, Jessica. And we've got a question related to the aviation management program. So they're saying for a program such as aviation management, where the placement options would presumably need to be at or near an airport, is there assistance with connecting with housing and accommodation options near the placement, if not near Barrie or the student's home?
Take it away, Jessica.
Okay, so I understand the question is about assistance with housing. And the answer is, in your co-op prep hour, especially for programs like aviation management, where students are most likely traveling a ways, we talk about how to prepare for the experience in your work term. That includes being ready to temporarily relocate if need be, according to where your co-op opportunity is located, but we don't specifically match you with housing opportunities. We encourage you and provide you with resources for how to find suitable temporary accommodations, and we provide support to evaluate different types of work opportunities according to how they might fit in with your career plan. But we don't give you a straight up match for how to relocate or where to relocate when you are moving to different locations. So that's something that we start working on early in the first semester of your program as part of your co-op prep hour. And we continue to talk about it with our career consultants and our co-op consultants as need be. So if you're finding that that is an area of challenge or something that you'd like to consider, it's good to put it on your radar for a meeting with one of our co-op consultants to talk about the different options and that are available to you and how they match your lifestyle and your goals.
Perfect. Great. Well, thank you so much. This session is now coming to an end. Thank you so much to our panelists for their excellent advice and to everyone who joined us for the session.